Welcome to a full-feathered episode of LoyalTV, where we find out just how the town of Nicoma Park pecked its way through a chicken boom.
Nicoma Park really is a result of the aggressive, very optimistic attitude of the 1920s. It was a sense of optimism. So if you take the magic of 1889 and the land run, bottle it, and amplify it. That's what was happening in the 1920s. And people like G.A. Nichols, Dr. Gilbert A. Nichols, who was probably the greatest gambler of all of the Oklahoma City pioneers, had these grand visions. 10 miles east on 23rd Street, what is now the state capitol, was undeveloped farmland. The North Canadian River flowed through the area. It was fertile soil. It was a farm part of the county, more farming going on there than anywhere else. Well, G.A. Nichols optioned 2,000 acres, worked with the Oklahoma City Chamber of Commerce. They created a town, Nicoma Park. Stands for Nichols, N-I-C, Oklahoma, Nicoma Park. And the concept was, we will sell a house to a middle-class family, and they can make their payments not through their wages, but by raising chickens back behind the house. So to build a chicken house. Some were small, some were large, some were more on a commercial grade, full-time job, full-time employment, feeding thousands of chickens, catching the eggs. Every morning the Rock Island would pull through. You get your eggs out there, they'd mark down, 200 eggs today, 300 eggs tomorrow. Great concept. And it seemed to work. Several hundred families moved out to Nicoma Park. He built a community center, had a school. It was a real little neighborhood, and all was going well until things started changing in 29 and 30. First, the Great Depression. Oil was down to 10 cents a barrel, and so the price for poultry went down, the price of eggs went down. And then on top of the economic bad news, in came a shipment of pullets. Some of those chickens had disease, and once they spread among all of these other chicken coops, it started infecting the flocks, and chickens started dying. And people were depressed because of the general economy. Now they're further depressed because their chickens are all dead, and they couldn't make their payments. There were lawsuits. People were suing G.A. Nichols. They were suing the railroad. They were suing everyone. And so the development fell into bankruptcy, receivership. Now the community would survive. When my family moved to Oklahoma City in 1949, my father was a highway patrolman, my mother was a music teacher. She taught music in Nicoma Park. So when I was born in 1951, it was still a going little community. One thing started changing though in the 1940s, and that was called Tinker Air Force Base. Midwest Air Depot started 1940-41. Suddenly, thousands of jobs. And suddenly people in Nicoma Park had a place to work that was nearby. Another little boom. Well, instead of having the chicken coops back behind, you had just your little suburban home. Someone who might have bought 4 acres could subdivide it and sell lots. And so the little community continued to grow, but it never again would fulfill the dream of the Chamber of Commerce and G.A. Nichols, that this would be Oklahoma's poultry colony where people could make their mortgage payments by raising chickens. It just would never happen. And so he was this grand dreamer, willing to take a risk to build something that wasn't there before. And that's free enterprise. That's people willing to invest, to take a risk with hope that tomorrow's going to be better tomorrow than it is today. And that's the story of G.A. Nichols. It's the story of Nicoma Park.
Before you fly the coop, make sure you join us next week as we keep telling the best Oklahoma stories you've never heard, only on LoyalTV.